Hello and welcome to a pretty unusual video. Today, I'm going to be showing you how to make a VTuber avatar. Whether you really like the style of VTubers, or you just don't want to show your face, it's really useful. And what I'm going to show you, you can do entirely for free. So, starting off, I've already opened up what we're going to be using to create the avatar. That is VRoid Studio. You can just Google it. It should be the first result when you Google VRoid Studio, and then you can download it from there, or you can get it on Steam. It is available for Mac and Windows, but I should mention that the face tracking part might not be available on Macs. I will put links to any applications that can track it on Mac if I find any, otherwise you won't be seeing anything here. But let's get started. So, we're going to do this as quickly as possible. I'm going to choose the more feminine looking one for this, and we're going to get started. So, here we are. We have a nice lovely face, and we're already on the face editor. There are all these options here. If you go to all, it'll just be every single one of those options all listed here, but to make things look a little less chaotic, we're just going to go through each of these. So, I position downwards, upwards, you get the idea, just move stuff around. So, you can go ahead and just mess with all of this however you please. I should also mention, you can just scroll like this, and it does have the limit of 1, but we can actually, if you type, we can do way worse like this. I'm sorry if that gives you nightmares. So, we're gonna let that stay where it is. Now the shape of them, I'm gonna make it go a little bit upward, and maybe, let's try doing -1 on this. Yeah, there we go. I'm gonna go with those. Now the eyebrows, they're gonna be probably pretty normal. If anything, I might move them a little lower. The nose, there's not much to change, it's just up or down, but we're just gonna leave it as is. Mouth, same deal. The ears are kind of interesting because you can do some pretty crazy stuff. But for me today, we're just gonna make them a little smaller, and that's about it. Face contours, I'm thinking we're gonna make it like a little downwards, a little rounder. There we go. So, this is going to be the most difficult part. The hair editor. So, for a beginner, I would highly recommend you start off with procedural groups. It'll just give you this bunch of hair. You can also mess with the boundaries of it by going like this. Could be rather useful if you want the hair to be near the back and you don't want it to go through the ear, for example. So let's see if we can do that first. Now this looks horrendous, but the plan is I kind of want to put this back. So we're gonna mess with the position. Now it is really conforming to the head shape, so what we want to do is go to conformity and lower that a little bit. I think I'll keep it like almost no conformity at all. So, we do that, and then there's also the curve here. I like to do, the easy way to go is with straight hair, so I might do that today, but there's also Squid and Ika-chan. And I know there are gaps in between, so if I go with Ika-chan, we can go to the width, make it a bit wider, and then that fixes that. So, I don't like the position of this one, so we are going to move it a little bit. I kind of want it to be halfway like that, yeah. And then, I'm going to take this group, I'm going to convert to brush hair, so now it's a freehand group. That way I can clone it, and then flip it. There we go. So, I know we have a lot of space here, but we're gonna work with the bangs first. This is the most difficult part, honestly, because this means we're making a freehand group. Not a procedural group that we're turning into a freehand group, just a freehand group. So you can just mess with it using your mouse, or if you have a tablet, you can use that too. I have one, but I don't have it on me right now. So we're just gonna work with this. Now let's see, I might go with Ika-chan for everything here, but doesn't really feel right to me. So we're just gonna go back to fluffy. Perfect. What's very useful though is this mirror icon, because if you click that, then you can just do stuff like this. Now obviously I don't want to be covering the eyes and the eyebrows, so we're gonna work with that. Kind of frame the face a bit. And I'll probably mess with the shape of these hairs afterwards, just to fit the front here. Let's figure out the middle though. So we're gonna take that group, we're going to make it Ika-chan just like the rest of this. We have it on mirror, we'll keep that going. We may have to fill in some space or change the boundaries of some spots just so that we can get this space covered up without messing with the look of the hair here. See, because that doesn't look quite right. So which hairs are the problem? I guess we can try that again. New freehand group. And let's see. So this group is the bang group. We're probably going to want to change the boundaries of it just so that it's a little more out. That way the hair that's going underneath it, well, is underneath. The problem hairs, this one. So you can go to the control points and you can change exactly where it's going. So it does look kind of funky, but that's okay because that's the hair that we're going to be changing the boundaries of. Just bringing it in a little further. So that looks pretty okay. Now we just have to handle this last bit here. So I think that looks pretty good. We don't want it to be perfectly symmetrical though, so adding another group, gonna just, that's not the right curve. And we can also change the width of this, so I'm probably going to do that. That way we can add, like, smaller bits. Maybe a little smaller so we can give it kind of like a bit of detail. I'm satisfied with that. Though I should be careful about this strand here. Gotta make sure that it all sticks to something. So I think we'll leave it at that. Though, I might change the control points of this. There we go. I'll work with that. So it's starting to get somewhere. So then we can go to the body editor. There's not much that I'm going to change here, but I'm going to show it to you anyways. So I'm basically going to keep mine pretty basic. I might change a little short, and that's pretty okay. So we're going to go to the clothing editor. This is where we can change the outfit. So if you want to go with something simple, you can choose like mini t-shirt. That's what I'm going to go with. And this bow is here by default. You have to go to accessories, none, and now it's gone. So what I'm going to show for an example is mini t-shirt. If we go to the texture, you can draw on this. You can basically make whatever you want on this shirt. So we can erase things as well. You know, go crazy with it. But just to make things simple, you can also go to the base color, change it to whatever you please. Something like that. And then change the shade color as well. And there you go, you have a basic shirt. And then you can also do the same with the pants or skirt. So there's a nice example. Nice basic outfit. And then after this, you can go to the general editor, just mess with like the shading, which the thing that I like to do is the outline. Get rid of it. Get rid of it. You don't need it. At least in my opinion. I find it annoying. So there you have it. We've created the avatar, but we haven't changed the textures, so it looks pretty basic. So, to start off, we're going to go back to the hair editor. What if we don't want the hair to be blue? We'll make a new material. We'll duplicate it. You can change the colors. We can make it totally black if we wanted to. Lovely. Now I'm not going to do that. But you know, you can change all of these colors. Let's do another example. We'll make it like pinkish. And the highlight will also be around the pink area. And there's a nice different color. What if we don't like the way that the texture is for this hair? And what if we don't like the textures for all these clothes? That's what we're gonna get to next. There's a website that you can go to. It's called Booth. If you just Google Booth VRoid, that's what I usually do. I'll show you, for example. See, I've done this quite recently. I also spelt it wrong recently. Should be this. And then we can just translate it. And you can go through here. I like to look at the price limit, put it all the way down to 0. That way it only shows the free things. And there's a lot of stuff. So I've already downloaded some stuff, so we're just going to work with that. You can also create your own textures, but let's say you don't have very many photo editing applications, so nothing too great for you to use. Personally, I use Photoshop, but that's not free. So we're working on this for free. Starting off, we're going to go to the texture here. The default image would be here. If we toggle the visibility, then we have nothing. Except for the one piece of hair that is a different material than the rest. So, we're going to add a layer because I know that this layer is blank, but just in case. I'm going to import whatever I have. This is my folder that has all of my model stuff, so the textures that I've made. But I'm going to go to downloads. So we have a bunch of stuff here. I believe the hair is in its own folder, so I'll have to just move that. let's see what we have here. I can work with that. I can work with the pink. We'll move that over here. Open it up. And now it changed the look of it just a little bit. So why don't we take a look? If we move all of this to white, it should look exactly. There we go. Look at that. Now I don't really like how bright the highlight is, so I can just totally get rid of that. Very nice. So I really like this texture. I also found that on Booth for free. Now if we go to the base color, we can change it to other crazy things. So I'm gonna go with a purpley look to it. And then of course, we don't want that one piece of hair to be funky, so we're gonna make it the same material as the rest. We could also just make a streak of just something else. So I'm gonna do something like that. We're gonna make it like that. Maybe we'll do the same with this one. There we go. Something funky. Maybe to make this a little asymmetrical, we can do that. Yeah, there we go. Now, one thing that I've noticed a lot of people have made this mistake is not clicking on this and making it so that all of these groups can move around. Now, maybe you don't want all of the hair to move around. Personally, I want all the hair to move around. So, we're gonna generate the bone group. And now that looks crazy, but if we go to the camera/exporter, we can actually use the wind to see how it moves. So yes, with really strong wind, some of the hair will clip through the face. That's just how it goes, but you typically don't have any wind going. It's more so a test to see if the hair can move how it's supposed to. And it is moving how it's supposed to. So, another thing, more than the hair textures, you can also mess with the face textures. So, if we go here, I'm gonna go to face skin. I downloaded one and I want to test it out right now. I don't know why it went on that one. Whoops. There we go. Gonna add a new layer. Import. And it should just be, I think it was this one. It's a little excessive, but I think we can change the opacity to just be a little more chill. Because we don't want it. That looks a little good. Well, that looks good. So I like that. I like the look of that. We also need to go to the eyebrows and make sure that they're a color that's more fitting for the rest of the hair. So we'll do that. Change the shade color to also be a more purpley color. Eyelashes. Eyelashes. So, this is the default image. If we get rid of that, it looks kinda okay. So, let's try importing those eyelashes. Pretty cute. So that looks pretty nice. Now I want to change the irises. I also downloaded a texture. We already saw that. We're gonna go with the cotton candy looking one. Very cute. Look at that. See, we're getting all of these things for free. Why don't we find some clothes as well? We'll just try this one. So it looks to be on a short sleeve dress. Let's see if we can find that in the clothing editor. I guess it would be short sleeve? Yeah. So, we'll go to the texture of that. Add a layer. We'll import it. Looks pretty good. Very cute. Maybe not the most fitting for this hair color, but we'll go with it. And there are different textures as well to get rid of these socks. Those are a part of the skin texture, but since the tracking that you'll probably be using for this doesn't show your legs, you're all set. So we're not going to worry about that part. We're just going to go to the exporter just so we can take a little look at this. Looks pretty good. So why don't we go export, export again. I'm not really going to give it a name or anything. It's up to you whether you do that or not. I'm just going to say okay. And we'll put that in models. And we'll call this tutorial. Now, what I'm using to track this, oh no. What I'm using to track this is VSeeFace. I'm already on it. But when you open it up, you should just be on this menu. It won't show anything, but it'll have the add avatar thing. And then wherever you exported your VRM file to, you're going to need to find that. Open it up. Select. And there we go. So, the hair doesn't move a whole lot. I may need to change that a bit, but it still moves a bit. And that's good. So, we have created a VRoid model. We have created a VTuber model entirely for free. And that little icon there is just so you can make everything invisible. So, how do I use this on my streams? I go press plus. I know this looks kind of weird. I would go to press plus. I would go to game capture. That's what I'm using for this. Game capture, capture specific window, VSeeFace, allow transparency. And that's that. So after I recorded that, I actually decided to mess with the hair a little more, just so that the color matches the rest of, like, the outfit. Just the lighter colors. So I changed the yellow to a more pinkish color, and the purple is a little lighter. I also changed the length of the hair because I wanted to see if I could really do it. Long hair is very, very difficult to make. So with that in mind, it was a bit of a struggle, but I'd say I kind of pulled it off. It looks pretty plain, but for a first try, it's not bad. I should mention, my original VTuber avatar was not made by me. It was made by someone that I commissioned off of Fiverr. I will put their account in the description of this video. And with all that in mind, this is actually the first one that I've made on my own. So overall, it looks really nice. And if I can do this on the first try, you can absolutely make some really great VTuber avatars. So I hope that this helps. If you need any more advice, let me know. I am happy to help, and it gives me more ideas for what I should be making videos about. So if you have any video suggestions as well, let me know. And with that in mind, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to subscribe and join the party. And I'll see you all in the next one.